viewing now is roughly it's a 1912. That's as near as I can get without getting into all the specs that are on it. It's a Shaw engine. This is what they call their Model B style. This has been totally rebuilt. New rings in the bottom half is has new crank pins, new wrist pin, of course new rings, output shaft, input shaft, all the ignition, the whole total has been rebuilt. Along with what you don't see in there is underneath that brass cover is the cam. So I got new cam gears and the crank gear, and also the camshaft has been made. And this is the decompression, and really I don't like using them the way they set this up, but basically when the cable is hooked onto it, which mounts down here, it comes up to this position, and as you lift up, then this pushes the cam exhaust, or it pushes the exhaust lever up. So for right now, I'm just tie this off for the bench test because we'll start this up later. So really this does nothing more than to lift the exhaust valve up for decompression. And then it has the oiler. It's a drip style oiler. It's about 8 drops per minute. And then the carb, it really isn't correct. This is an atmospheric check on the intake. They normally use what they call a gas mixer, and I'll show you that later. And that in itself, with that carb, also has a check in it like atmospheric. So when the suction draws, it just loads, works up again. The valve works up against the spring tension. So they cannot really be throttled up very easily. With this style carburetor here, you have that luxury to throttle it somewhat, but not a great amount. Otherwise, you get too much speed, you get way out of balance on them. But they're a lot easier to idle, and then you can adjust your mix a lot easier on these. Much finer tuning with this, so you get to running a little bit better. That's why this particular carb versus over a gas mixer style. And we'll show you that later. Now over here is the gas mixer that I talked about, which is nothing but a valve, inlet the gas, and then the valve lift I was talking about, atmospheric, is this, goes up against the spring tension. So you only have this working for you, is just adjust the gas. So it gets critical between cold start and running, or that is idling, right for you. Now these are the intake tubes that I had casted. So that's the solid style. And then you have your choice really when you bore these out. You have a flange, you can take the flange off. Otherwise you keep the flange on, you can mount different type of carburetors for them. Although I think the carburetor would be original, I think it's called a breezy carb. Then the next style, when they improved these later on, probably around 1918, my guess, they actually put a butterfly. So this is casted so you can actually bore this out and put a butterfly into it. So you got some control of speed with it for throttle, but not very much. Then these are the intake. This is the atmospheric style. So there's a spring that goes down inside of that keeps this up tight until till the piston goes down and it's actually sucking in for gas and air. That comes down. Now, the machinist I use is Nokomis Machine. He's in Humboldt, Iowa. Bill is his first name, and there's his phone number. He does excellent work. And this particular one now, he's machined out of a billet, or probably a hex stock. So he's made the valve for me, and then the inside he uses a brass for the air draw. And then that's a set screw mounted inside. There's a set screw to hold the Here, you can see that in there now. Excellent work that guy does. So he's the fella that's did the balancing on the cheeks of the crankshaft and the engine for me and made out the new pins. Let's see, I think we're probably at a stage now where we can probably fire it up. That should do it. The point cam. I guess we'll have to take the condenser off too. Normally this condenser wouldn't be on here, it would be in a battery box and coil box that's mounted on the bike. Now if you get a shot of that, you can see what that cam is like. And then the points are very, very simple. Nothing more than a clock spring up against the point set here on the side. So it's an insulated block. That's all it is. So this is a part that I would say was acting like a decompression part, this whole timer is, but I really don't like them this way. I prefer maybe the more the model of the that has the magneto style that's usually mounted up here. Then this configuration they don't use as far as the lift of the exhaust valve. They have another bracket that mounts up here, and you have a little bit better control and the least amount of breakage when it comes to these aluminum castings. They're not very good, but they do serve the purpose. So you can see how that valve lifts up when that's pulled. So now then, this case, this will all have to be retimed. But you try to get it in about this position, which is considered a neutral position for timing it. So then you have to move this cam up into here for timing top dead center. Then you leave it pretty much in this position, and it's spring loaded from here to here, and it's also loaded here with the spring. So then your cable then ties to this, and if you want to lift that valve for decompression, it's just a matter of doing this. It also then retards the spark at the same time. Don't like them used that way, but that's what it's about. That should be about the end of it.